Well, Pearl, I've got Sabelo Lindokuhle Emmanuel Sikhakhane, also known as Swif Biko, and who is a rapper, a singer, songwriter, and from a small rural town called Molweni. He's a self-taught musician whose interest in composition was sparked by his parents, who played a lot of soul-touching gospel and jazz music. He started recording solo songs and dropped his debut single titled Bonappetit late in 2017. He's currently promoting his single 10 out of 10 and working on a new EP. Swif Biko, very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you. How are you?
Good, how are you, man?
Good to see you again, man.
Right,
It feels great to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now,
thank you.
For those who might be seeing for the first time or might be hearing your music for the first time, Swif Biko, what inspired that stage name?
Swif is actually an acronym for Say What I Feel. I actually say what I feel on every track that I perform.
Okay.
And Biko is like my father. He's the guy I look up to because of the way he thought and the way he did everything.
Okay.
So Swif Biko is more like Steve Biko, the musician.
Right,
yeah,
right.
100%.
Interesting,
Right.
interesting. So what first got you into music in the first place?
Well, like you just read now, it's actually my parents, they played a lot of soulful music, so it moved my soul every time they played music. And to some extent, it actually shaped me to becoming a musician without me being aware of it. And there was a point where I actually started writing gospel music, and due to the fact that I couldn't sing that great, I had to give the songs away to people. And at some point, I got introduced to hip-hop, which made life a lot easier for me, because that's when I started writing music that I could actually perform myself.
And when you can be able to express yourself
100% without worrying about the melodies and which notes I'm on and stuff like that. So it was more of a welcome home for me, just rap. Do what you do. Do the same thing you did when you were writing gospel, but now you have to rap that thing. You don't have to sing it anymore.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, just making a reflection, reflecting and looking back at the journey from when you started,
Right.
do you think you've grown as a musician?
100%, 100%.
Just how have you grown?
I've grown more spiritually. I'm more connected to God now. As I grow physically, I grow spiritually. I remember speaking to you a couple of months back about standing here and sitting here, and it's happening right now. That's through prayer.
Sure.
You know, so it's just growing me spiritually and also mentally.
Yeah.
100%.
Let's talk about 10 out of 10. What is 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10 is pretty much an anthem for whoever is ambitious, whoever is hungry to get it, whoever wants to be a winner can actually relate to that song, because I'm all about winning in that song. I'm talking about victory and actually disappointing the people that doubted you. Yeah.
Having so much confidence in your own work yourself, how do you evaluate your success? How do you evaluate or price your work?
I just look at the reaction. The people have to give me a reaction. If there's no reaction, then I didn't do a good job.
Give the people what you want.
100%. So if the people are not happy, I won't be happy. 100%. Yeah, 100%. So if they're happy, I'm happy, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit and listen to the music. It has to go to the people. And if the people love the music, then we're all happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're also working on a new album, isn't it?
No, I've got an EP out.
You've
actually.
got an EP out.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it just now.
Yeah.
It's 18 tracks. It's mostly about God and my journey, and also because in the industry, especially hip hop, there's too many people talking about bottles and money and all of that, but there's no one actually addressing the real life that the struggles that we face on a daily, getting evicted and not having money for rent, not having money for food and stuff like that. There's no one talking about that. Everyone wants to talk about the flashy life and all of that. And to be quite frank, I'd say out of 100%, 10% is living the flashy life, 90% is struggling. So who's speaking for that 90%? Who's the mouthpiece for that 90%? Right. There's no mouthpiece. So I filled in that gap. I said, no, you know what, of course I touched on the bottles and clubs, but it wasn't something that I did fully. It was just, okay, I can also do this, but mostly let me just talk about my life, tell you that you can actually get through this.
Okay.
Just through prayer.
Just in case your fans are puzzled as to the exact genre of your music, how do you strike the balance between being in touch with your own spirituality, as you just shared with us, and describing your music as gospel music?
Well, I'd say my music is touched. I wouldn't call it gospel. I call it touched because whenever you listen to my music, you get touched. If you're not touched, I didn't do justice.
Yes.
So with me, I don't like classifying my music as hip hop. I just like calling it touched. And in general, it's just music. Okay. 100%.
So what can you expect from you this year?
This year, just expect more music and more of my name out there, because I'm going to be everywhere. I need to be everywhere. 100%.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
What a great start.
100%.
And 10 out of 10, where can you get hold of that music?
Well, all my music is on digital platforms. You can find it on Google Play, iTunes, Deezer, actually all digital platforms. You just search Swif Biko, and the name of the EP is 9. And I went for 9 because I believe 9 is a very powerful number. God loves that number. It takes 9 months to create a human being, first of all. And if you look at the minutes of a full circle 360, like the whole year, if you add the minutes up, 525,600 minutes, those numbers add up to 9. Okay. And the full circle 360, 3 plus 6 plus 0 is 9. You know,
you really did your homework, eh?
Yeah, no. 9 is a very special number.
Right.
And a lot of things that are happening to me take me back to 9. So I'm always stuck with 9. So the name of the EP is 9. I went for 9 specifically because I think God loves that number. And, you know, there's so much to teach about the number. People need to learn more about numbers and why God chose that number.
All right, Swif Biko, thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to give you 10 out of 10, eh?
100%. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We just spoke to artist Swif Biko, who is currently promoting his single 10 out of 10 and working on a new EP which will be released soon. And he'll be performing shortly for us. So please stay tuned for that. This is Morning Live.